What's good, y'all? It's your boy Taywop. You can call me Tay, whichever one you prefer. And I'm coming at y'all with a little different type of video this time, right? So we can all agree, Bulls fans, shoot, even if you're a regular NBA fan, we can all agree this season, it's not what we expected. Coming off a year where we got 40-something wins, we was looking like one of the best teams in the NBA, and then it's just to be derailed by injury. We thought that now that we, we had some time without Zoe, that we can kind of put it together. We'll have strides from guys, and we'll be able to still finish decently. And it was everything but that this year. We finished below 500. We were very inconsistent. We lost to teams that we had no business losing to, which ultimately resulted in a play-in loss, and we didn't make the playoffs. So at this point, we have a chance for a lottery pick, potentially. If we get in that top four, we get to keep our pick. But that's not what I'm here to talk about today. Today we're going to do something a little different, and today I'm going to do season awards. So we're going to go ahead and give out the rewards for this season with MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved, Fan Favorite, and Most Underrated. I'm going to add that there as well, Most Underrated. So those are the 5 that we're going to do today. I think this one's gonna be a little different video. It's gonna be kind of fun. I had a little fun just trying to decipher who I want to give my awards to. So check me out. So we're gonna start with this first award, right? And granted, before I get into that, again, shouts out to everybody that stuck through this season, man. It was tough. It was a tough season. I get it, man. Like it was some highs, but it was a lot of lows, man. Just from the Minnesota situation to losing by 100 points or whatever the case was. Players only meetings, struggling with coaching, struggling with shooting the ball, but for us to be able to get a big win against Toronto like that to end the year, it was nice. We had some nice moments this season. DeMar DeRozan was still an all-star. He was a finalist for Clutch Player of the Year. We got to see Zach LaVine basically play every game since about November. Didn't miss a game, which is a very hopeful sign. I will say, just for everybody, that it's not all bad. There's some good to still take away from this season. It's not all bad, So, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get into these rewards. I'm gonna start off with the least important, which to me they're all important. Let's be honest, but we're gonna do the MVP last, okay? So we're gonna start off with the fan favorite award, and that winner I have is Dalen Terry. And he's a rookie. He didn't get to see the floor much this year, but everybody loves Dalen Terry. If you're a Chicago fan, you love Dalen Terry just because of the energy that he brings, the charisma, the excitement. He goes out there. The times he does play, he gives it his all, and you gotta appreciate that. He just brings a different energy to the locker room that just we never had before. A young, vibrant energy. He goes out and he competes hard. He plays defense. You can tell that there's some potential there. Yeah, his shot needs some work. His offense needs some work, but that's just comes with him getting more experience and getting more time on the floor. I'm not gonna worry about that. I expect him to get a lot more time next year on the floor. And we're going to see some Dalen Terry next year, but fan favorite, definitely, I feel like by a landslide has to go to Dalen Terry. If I had to pick a runner-up, it'll probably be Pat. But we're going to touch on him later, so we're going to keep that one moving. So fan favorite player, Dalen Terry. Now we're going to go into the most underrated player on the team. Now this one I had a little bit of trouble coming up with as far as the most underrated. But to be honest, and as one of his critics, I feel like the most underrated player on the team, I have to vote Vooch. I was hard on Vooch this year. I gave him a lot of slack just because I felt like it was times where he just wasn't what we needed him to be. But when you really look at it, Vooch definitely hooped. I want to say he was top 3 in the league in double-doubles. He had double-doubles for a decent amount of games straight. You know what I'm saying? Let me see, just to look at his numbers real quick. He didn't have a bad season. 17 points, 11 rebounds, 35% from 3, 52% from the field. It's not a bad season at all. It's moments where he played great defense. I feel like the thing with Vooch is just we didn't utilize him as much as we should have. But everybody on that team, on that staff, understands his value to that team. And I know a lot of times we get on him just because of a lack of aggression or wanting to shoot a bunch of threes. But around that last quarter of the season and some change, he was our most consistent player on a night in, night out basis. He got double-doubles every single night, and he was steady every single night. And while a lot of people gave him flack, including myself, he kept it consistent. He carved out a role for himself. He remained valuable. Sometimes he didn't get the touches that he needed to get, but I think Vooch is that guy that we didn't appreciate enough this year for what he's done over the last couple of games, you know. So he's definitely going to be my vote for most underrated player. Now moving on, we're going to have most improved. Now I feel like everybody knows the answer to this one. Most improved player, that's going to Coby White. And it's really not close. Coby had an amazing turnaround in this season that's going to give him some leverage in his career, man. Like, I was so anti-Coby when he first got to the league just because of, I mean, of course he's young. He's going to make mistakes, but it just seemed like he wasn't improving and he was just turning the ball over, taking bad shots, and not displaying the IQ that we need out of a point guard, you know, just bad decision making, like inconsistency. You have nights where he would explode, nights where he doesn't do anything. He couldn't guard a soul. And just to see where he was at in those first few seasons and him put it together this season it's remarkable because it's not going to show in the stats. If I'm not mistaken, his stats actually went down if you look at his counting stats. But if you watched any games, you can see it clear as day that Coby White is not the same player that he was his first 3 years in the league. He played defense. He understand his role. He made the hustle plays. His decision making got better. His ball handling got better. His shooting got better. This is the highest 3-point percentage, or second highest 3-point percentage he shot in his career, 37%. This is his highest field goal percentage, which is 44%, which still isn't great. But compared to Coby's standard, where his first 3 years he was shooting on average probably about 36%. I'm looking at the 3-point line, excuse me. But over the course of his career where he's shooting 39%, 40% from the field, it's impressive. He played 74 games this year. It was great. He found him a role on the bench. Now he is a free agent. I would have never thought I would say this his first 3 years, but I need him back in Chicago. He played a huge part for us this year. He made a lot of big plays. He made a lot of stops, hustled a lot. You know, he gave us that 3-point shooting. I want to say he's right there breaking the record for the most 3-point. I think he did break the record for the most 3-pointers made by a Bull ever, man. This is year 4. So he served us a purpose. He gives us a lot of speed. He gives us some height, some physicality. He's learning how to use his body, man. He just got so much better over the last season. Really, the first 3 seasons and this year, it's like a night and day difference. And I got to give him most improved. I'm excited to see the type of jump he makes going into next season, because this is really, you know, this is really a big moment for him where he gets to get a new contract. He gets to play for, you know, he gets to get some value. And I'm excited to see what that turns into next year, if he's going to be that utility guy. I think he wants to start. But it makes me think, like, is he going to be that? Is he going to be that starting point guard for us while we wait for Lonzo to come back, if he does come back? Because that situation is looking a little scary. Or if he goes somewhere else and somebody throws him a bag and he decides, hey, you know, I want to get what I feel like I'm worth. This team is giving me more than y'all are. I'm gonna go ahead, which I can't be mad at. He's played himself into that contract, so we're gonna see how that free agency goes, and we're gonna have a video about that later on. But Coby White definitely gets that most improved player of the year. Now, defensive player of the year is gonna go to, and I think we also all know who this award is gonna go to, but just for a little suspense. Defensive Player of the Year is going to none other than Patrick Williams. Patrick Williams is going to be the Defensive Player of the Year for the Chicago Bulls. And if you watched us play this year, if you seen him play, Patrick Williams was locking up, man. Patrick Williams, man, he has some potential to really, really terrorize on the defensive end, bro. And starting with just the intangible things that you can't control, which is, bro, he's about 6'7", about a good 200. Woo. Excuse me. That man is about 6'8". I gave him 6'7". 6'8", 215, lean, mobile, athletic freak, 7-foot wingspan. Off of that alone, it's hard to get past him. Number two, he is 21 years old. Still very, 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 very young. But the stats on defense, man, he's a wing stopper already. There have been stats that's come out where he's had, on guys that he's guarded, one of the lowest field goal percentages in the NBA, man. And his ability to just jump and read out plays, jump into passing lanes, or just use his physicality to really just stop guys in their tracks is really, he became a one-on-one defender. Like, he's put on a one-on-one masterclass in multiple games this year. On top of him just being able to play that help side and just get over and help getting blocks. Now, one thing I would like to see him do is hit the boards a little bit better, because that is defense. But Patrick Williams, man, definitely showed that he has the potential to be an elite defender in the NBA. And if he continues to hit the three ball, which statistically, he's our best three-point shooter at about 40-ish%, 41%. If he continues to hit the three ball at the rate that he is, especially if it increases volume and he continues to play the defense that he's playing, Patrick Williams is going to be a very dangerous player. He's gotten a little better this year. I'm not going to go as far as to say that he regressed some or that he fell off a little bit, because I don't think that he did. I think that there was a lot going on and it was a little inconsistent. Yeah, he did lose his starting spot, which he has no business doing, but he also understands and recognizes himself that he didn't meet his own expectations as well as the expectations that we set on him. He's been vocal about that as the year ended. So I expect a lot better Patrick Williams. Another summer with DeMar DeRozan working out with him, getting his offensive bag up, and just continuing to improve, staying steady, continue to work, understanding what he means to this team, understanding that he belongs and he needs to have that confidence, because that's going to make him a lot better next season, which is something that he just lacked a little bit this year. But that Defensive Player of the Year is going to go to Patrick DePaul Williams. And now, to get to this last one, I know I've been keeping y'all here a long time, but the last one, MVP goes to that boy Zach LaVine. Now, understanding that he was not the All-Star, I'm not sure that he will even be an All-NBA player this year, right? But Zach LaVine is the MVP of this team. Zach LaVine gets MVP this year. Now, I could have went DeRozan. I wanted to, but the second half of the season, really from about December on, man, it was really hard for me to not give the Defensive Player of the Year, MVP of the team to Zach LaVine. He just played too well the second half of the year. 25 points a game, 48% from the field, about 38% from three, 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. Man, the dude just went bonkers that second half of the year. Now, I know it started a little slow, and that's just due to him, working back off injury, getting his legs back under him, just getting back feeling good. But after that, the man plays some damn good basketball. Now, granted, this is the most standout thing about his stats to me when I look at him is he played 77 games this year coming off of, a knee injury where he was struggling ending the season to even finish the year out, which is the second most games he's played since his second year in the league, where he played all 82. Hopefully we can get him back to that. But this is the most games he's played since his first 2 years in the league. He played 77 games that first year and 82 the second. After that, it's been injuries. And to see him bounce back after a knee injury and be able to play at this level that he has played in, including that playing game with Toronto. Now, he wasn't as good in Miami. I get it. But we're not gonna highlight that right now. We're gonna talk about just the great things that he's done this year. And I mean, you could argue that this is one of the better seasons of his career. Like, not even just looking at it statistically, but just for the circumstances where he's been injured and there's been question marks about if he's going to be back to himself. Does he want to be in Chicago? Is he going to ask for a trade? Is he going to, try to find a way to get to LA? Is he, all of these questions that surrounded Zach LaVine, like, and for him to answer the bell and play the way that he did and see the team kind of lean towards letting Zach LaVine be that number one guy, and DeRozan is going to follow behind him. It was a very interesting dynamic to see that change, which ultimately I feel like kind of helped us, understanding that, hey, he's our clear-cut number one guy. DeRozan, you're the all-NBA guy. I know you got the all-star, you got the clutch finals MVP or whatever the fuck, but Zach LaVine stayed consistent. He stayed steady. We shifted the offense towards him. We allowed him to, get more shots, get up a lot more threes, shooting 37% from three at 7 attempts a game. That's pretty good, especially considering that going into next year, I already know we're gonna wanna get a lot more threes up. So Zach LaVine is the MVP. So just to run through it one more time, just so y'all got it locked in, we got Dalen Terry as the fan favorite. We got most underrated as Nikola Vucevic. We got most improved for Kobe White. Defensive player of the year is Patrick Williams. And MVP is Zach LaVine. So that's just what I got, as the season concluded. Ultimately, yeah, I would have loved to see a better outcome, but I'm a glass half full type of guy. So I pick out all the positives that I see in the season and things that I feel like we can build on. And we definitely got some things we can build on. Of course, we got things we can improve on too. But we definitely got some things that we can build on going into next year. We're going to keep you updated over this summer, see what free agency looks like, see what the draft looks like, what our situation is going to be going into next season, who's going to be here, who isn't. I'm not going to get into the details of it now, but it's definitely going to be a fun summer. It's going to be an interesting summer, and who knows, like, it might be some shakeup, and our team might look a lot different next year. So with that being said, this was a longer video, man. I appreciate y'all for sticking with me through this video, through the rewards. I'm going to talk a little bit about this second round as we get into it. We got game 2 of the Nuggets tonight. We got game 1 for Boston. We had game 1 of New York the other night. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. We got Bron versus Steph coming up, which is for old time's sake, because it's been a while since we've seen that matchup, and they're always classic matchups, man. So I'm going to go ahead in the next video, just touch up on the series of what we're looking at for the second round, predictions. Of course, game 1 for the Nuggets already got on the way, but we're going to talk about it, man. So again, appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Make sure you tap that like, tap the subscribe. We're going to be here with it, man. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. It's your boy, Taywalk.